All right, let's shift gears here and talk a little Tyron Hopper. We talked about Quay Walker, right? I think we all agree there's maybe a 10% chance he plays Sunday. If he wakes up and something miraculous happened, he feels 100%, maybe they'll activate him. I just don't see any chance of that happening. Let him rest up, get him ready for Thanksgiving Day against the Lions. And what that means is Tyron Hopper. You're going to see some Tyron Hopper here in this game. Now, the question is, does Tyron Hopper replace? Does he replace Quay Walker in the nickel 4-2-5, and you just keep McDuffie coming in on the base package, or do you now shift it and say, okay, McDuffie is going to play alongside Edgerrin Cooper in the nickel 4-2-5, and Tyron Hopper is going to be your 4-3 linebacker coming in? That's going to be the big question, right? And I just want to point out, we wrote this article. It ain't even an article. I just put a video together and a couple of quick things here of Tyron Hopper back in the preseason, where I said Tyron Hopper may be taking that year two jump. And when you watch the tape here on this specific play, you can see Tyron Hopper flow into the ball. Play it one more time from the beginning. You see him, he's kind of playing right in the middle of the defense. It was a blitz. Watch him bounce outside. He's got that athletic ability. I want to say he had like a 4.5 40, I believe, 4.4 or 4.5, very, very quick at the linebacker position. But I wanted to point out, we put this information out through 2 weeks in the preseason. Guys, his PFF grades were 88.6 and 74.0. And you see 35 snaps, 39 snaps, significant amount of snaps. When you compare preseasons from when he came into the league, his rookie year preseason was a 50.4, and up to this point through 2 weeks in the preseason this season, 86.0. That's significant. That's, okay, hold up a minute. Let's stop for a second. What's going on with Tyron Hopper, right? Now I want to give you guys an update. I put a tweet out earlier when we found out that Quay, most likely, with him being doubtful, he probably wasn't going to play. I just said Tyron Hopper should see a significant increase in snaps Sunday with Quay Walker officially being listed as doubtful. He truly flashed during the preseason this year, earning an elite 90.1 PFF grade, with the 72.6 it seems to have carried over into the regular season too. So again, when you look at the grades here, it's probably a little bit hard for you guys to read. I'll tell you the numbers here though. He finished the preseason this year, 90.1 was his PFF grade. So rookie year 50.4, jumped to a 90.1, and that was on 95 snaps. I mean, that's a significant amount of snaps, right? Now, fast forward to the regular season, and he's only had 20 snaps, albeit, right? Luckily, we've been pretty healthy at the linebacker position, 72.6. So last year in the regular season, only 18 snaps, 60.7. This year, he jumps to a 72.6 on 20 snaps. So I'm not saying that minute amount of snaps should make us think Tyron Hopper is going to be an elite football player, but it's definitely not bad news, Emilio. You're seeing a player that's starting to build on success. And, of course, we've seen him on special teams and being a contributor there as well. How do you feel about Tyron Hopper getting some meaningful reps, and how would you play it? Would you throw him into the nickel defense, or would you just let him be kind of that extra backer on 4-3?
Yeah, I think at the moment I'd probably just let him be that extra backer at the 4-3, just because you're going to go with what you have faith in McDuffie. McDuffie's your special teams captain. I think you kind of lean on that veteran leadership, though the reps Hopper's getting on special teams are always key. And on top of it, you see now, with those kind of grades, a little bit more of the tape that you get to see when he's out there. That's probably why he was a third-round pick. That's why they liked him. That's why they took a chance on him. If he can turn out to be something, I mean, it's just another thing that's going to help us on this defense, right? Speed comes from the linebackers, all those things. Maybe you get a little bit of a drop on McDuffie's in there speed-wise, but you don't lose any physicality, which is huge. If you need to get a little bit more physical, have some more speed, and you think you can still match them if they're running too wide, all right, let's get into base and let's let Hopper get out there, and he can cover in the flat if we have to, if we want to switch up, Hopper McDuffie roles when they're out there. But it would be cool to see him get some more reps for sure.
Yeah, and again, Tim, his archetype linebacker-wise, 6'2", 221, he's kind of a thumper, right? That's what he's known as. Third-round pick. I mean, this means Goody had at least a third-round grade on him, possibly a second-round grade on Hopper. So they seen him as a person that should be contributing sooner rather than later. I know it hasn't happened, which goes hand in hand here with what 2-0 for this said in the chat. Hopper's only downfall is being behind Quay and Cooper. Hard for anyone to see the field behind these two. Yeah. I don't see his lack of play, Tim, as an indictment. I just think you felt really, really good about those two stack backers in your nickel 4-2-5 up to this point, and McDuffie having a lot of connection there with Jeff Hafley. He stepped right into this defense, and he really took a step forward this year.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, we made that decision, right? It was Eric Wilson or it was Zay McDuffie, and we went with Zay, and I think that was the right choice. But, speaking of Tyron Hopper, man, this is so true what Tool for this is saying. It's not an indictment on him at all. It's the fact that you're behind two really, really good stack backers, and reps are a premium, and whether it's a nickel look or a base look, the more reps Tyron Hopper gets, in actual defensive sets, not just playing special teams for us. I mean, we're going to get a better look at what he can really do. And honestly, we always gripe about Zay McDuffie and coverage. I mean, looking at Tyron's, coverage grades here and the way he's played, I don't think that's a bad look to maybe pepper him in the nickel looks here and there just to see how he is running down the field,
Yeah, you never know if the game's too big for him until he gets in there, Emilio. It's just like that freshman. I know you turned the recruiting level down on college football, and you got that freshman that was the number one recruit in the country, right? Yep. So you don't know what you got until you put him in there, and he can't build up those extra XP points to build him up for the second year if you don't put him on the field. I would like to see what Tyron Hopper can do, but obviously maybe it's kind of like a Josh Jacobs thing. Yeah. If you're able to establish a decent game plan and maybe get a 10-point lead or something like that on the Vikings early, maybe you could start to pepper these guys in a little bit,
Yeah, absolutely. And my mistake, Clay, was that I didn't scout the guy. He ended up being a bust anyway, so that was on me, right? But
I'm not gonna lie, I was faded. I ain't gonna lie, I was faded.
So are you one of those guys that don't even scout the recruits?
No, I do. Just not on that one,
Just check.
You always think that they're a home run, but that's it with Hopper, because like we talked about earlier in the season, getting reps for those D linemen, Warren Brinson, Sorrell, all of them getting reps early is going to help us later on in the season. People are going to get banged up. The season's long. For the rookies, the season's long. The college football is going to be slowing down here soon, and our season, the NFL season is going to keep on going. I think that getting him meaningful snaps in season is just going to help. Obviously, like the rest of this team has learned from the mistakes that have happened in the previous losses in games. Getting Hopper a couple of those mistakes and good things that he can build on and say, all right, this is what I want to work on, get better at. Perfect. That's what we need to kind of plan for going into, December, January football.
Yeah, let's go to the chat, see what everybody's saying in here. Our Aaron Rodgers, not the Aaron Rodgers, said, I just don't like McDuffie in coverage, right? And that seems to have been his weak spot in the past, right? I think we would all agree there. McDuffie is more of that run defending linebacker, right? Now you're seeing, like you pointed out, the coverage grade here at a 77.7 this year for Tyron Hopper would make you think maybe he is more fit for that nickel 4-2-5 package, right? It's going to be interesting. We're going to learn a lot about how they feel about Tyron Hopper when we go out there with our nickel defense this Sunday. Although if last week had was any indication, I should say, of what they're thinking, you're probably still going to see McDuffie out there. Am I wrong there, guys? When we were in the nickel 4-2-5 last week after Quay went out, it was all McDuffie there. And then
and he's the backup green dot too. So that's important too, right? Kind of your vet leader in the middle there. So got to consider that as well.
Right. And it's nice that McDuffie's taken over that, because that was Eric Wilson's role last year, right?
Yeah.
Who's been Minnesota's star linebacker with their injury that they had. But I'm happy that we have McDuffie. If we didn't, then it would be a Hopper time. Hopper, you'd be going in there, you'd probably be sliding the dot to Cooper or X, and then there's a whole daisy chain that would fall. We thought about it early, but I'm glad that we ended up bringing, Isaiah back, make sure that we have something locked up. You set the floor. That was key.
Yep.
Definitely. Coach Lynn in the chat said, I want Hopper at Mike. And again, I think in the preseason, Coach, that's where we've seen Hopper, right? So when the starters were off the field, he was kind of that backup Mike, if you will. At least, when you don't want your starters, you don't want McDuffie out there. You didn't want Quay. You didn't want Adrian Cooper on the field in the preseason too much. Tyron Hopper did wear the green dot, I believe, and he also played that Mike spot. Now, you guys know how I feel about Mike, Sam, Will, all that stuff. It's very interchangeable, especially in a nickel defense. We've shown you multiple times. I try to identify it on Chalk Talk as much as I can. Okay, look, here you've got Adrian Cooper playing Mike, and you've got Quay playing Will. And then 3 plays later that we showed on Chalk Talk, it'd be vice versa, right? It just depends on the matchup you got that week, what the specific play call is there, and how you want to integrate those backers. It's just like safety. I no longer look at a safety as a strong safety or a free safety anymore, right? I don't look at it like, okay, Xavier McKinney is the free safety and Evan Williams is the strong safety. We showed you time and time again we'll say 29 spur, then you'll hear us say 33 spur.
Yeah.
Well, that's indicating typically the safety that's in the box, and that's what most people see as a strong safety.
Right.
By technical terms, when the strong safety position was created and labeled, it was meaning the safety that played on the strong side of the formation. That's why they called it that. That's very, very interchangeable today, and I kind of feel like Mike and Will in the nickel defense is very interchangeable too, and I think that's why they went and got Edgerrin Cooper, who almost looks like a carbon copy of Quay Walker with the physicality, the talent, all that stuff, right? So, but yeah, I can understand you wanted him at Mike for sure, man. Let's go to the super chat here real quick. Josh Martin, thank you so much, buddy. The wife finally gave the go ahead for the move to Green Bay. Hope we'll be in Green Bay by the time the playoffs come. That's absolutely awesome, guys. Awesome. If it were up to Mandy, we would already be up there too. I'm telling you, she sends me a half a dozen houses a day that are for sale. And I'm the one holding that up right now because, listen, somebody's got to be responsible.
Right.
We can't. If it was up to her, Tim, we would sell the house tomorrow, move up there, and not look back, man. That's how.
Yeah, and you're over there like,
I'm not going to. So quit asking.
I just love Tennessee, man. I love Green Bay, Wisconsin. I love it so much. Man, Tennessee. Emilio knows. Emilio came down from upstate New York, right? Moved to Tennessee. It's just a different world, isn't it, man?
Absolutely. Beautiful.
Yeah.
hey, congrats to Josh, though, man, making that move. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely awesome, Josh. So enjoy it, buddy. Make sure you send us pictures when you get up there, man. Pictures of the Lambo and stuff like that. Not any pictures of you and your and your whitey toddies at night. You know what I'm saying, man? We don't need none of that creep.
You do that, you're going to get your ass kicked. And that.
Appreciate you, Josh. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Congratulations. That's awesome, dude. All right, let us know in the comments if you're still here later on watching this video. How do you feel about Tyron Hopper? Would you like to see him in the nickel defense? Would you like to see him just play base 4-3? Do you like McDuffie better, Hopper better? Would you like to roll the dice to see what you got in Hopper? We want to hear from you guys in the comments. And do us a favor, help boost that algorithm. Hit like, hit subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future.